Tuesday, August 26th meeting of the St. Bernard Community Improvement Corporation. I guess we'll have a roll call by the president. Jonathan Stuchel here, Vice President Tom Rolfson.
Here.
Treasurer Bob Culberson, Secretary Chris Schildmeyer, Joe Brickler. Here. Peggy Brickweg. Here. Ray Culberson.
Here.
Jeff Edwards.
Here.
Allie Palmer.
Here.
Chris Sauer.
Here.
Amy Osamali. Okay, as far as you all have been provided, I believe by email from Chris and also in person, the July meeting minutes, are there any corrections? I know we were able to make sure that we had Tom's, the spelling of Tom's name correct this time.
First name.
I guess we just left his last name out to make sure there was going to be an issue. But other than that, is there anything? Is there a motion to accept the minutes as presented?
I'll make a motion to accept it.
I'll second it.
Okay, treasurer's report.
Balance in the Fifth Third Bank checking account is $115,308.32.
All right. As far as action items, just starting kind of a demolition punch list, just kind of run through. So our building department actually went through and served O'Rourke with a list of items that need to be dealt with. To be honest with you, the majority of the items that needed to be cleared up actually were Duke's responsibility, but O'Rourke did come back and take care of it. So there were areas where there was a transformer removed after the demolition, and there were holes on the backside. There was rebar, so Duke came and took care of that. So I'm sorry, O'Rourke came and took care of that. So that should be satisfying things. We're not going to close out the actual demolition permit at this point. There was a little bit of a potential misunderstanding as to where we were going to be leaving off. But basically O'Rourke is going to be redeploying and coming back and removing the westernmost wall as far as from the foundation, and removing the ramp for the loading dock, but we will be maintaining the wall that supports Andrew Street where it connects to the backside of the post office. But there was misinformation, I think, given to O'Rourke as to where we wanted to stop and what we wanted to do, because the potential for the discovery and unearthing of other debris that potentially would have to go through the remediation process as far as lead pipe, asbestos, other items, because there is a definite, on the backside of that structure, there is an old structure that is clearly underneath. We may unearth that, but having a decision to walk away from that and leave it was not something that either Chris Schildmeyer or myself truly had expressed. There was a misunderstanding. So anyhow, they're coming back. There is going to be, as a compromise, because of that, basically the demolition portion of the removal of that area is going to be under the original contract. There will be a change order that will be issued as far as for the backfill, but I think that's a pretty fair compromise as far as to get that done. But I was concerned about, obviously, it's not very attractive to look at right at this moment, but secondly, concerned about the safety coming from the backside by the post office, anyone having the ability to walk off or drive off of the old loading dock.
Could you loop me into some of the communication on this? As I'm managing the grant process with the port, I just want to make sure I have all of the most current information and paperwork.
Certainly. So I will make sure, so a couple things that probably even backdating this to provide to you, so that we have not received any reimbursement for. So when we paid for the asbestos, as far as, I guess, the testing, I could provide you with those receipts. We also, at the same time, there was a change order, two change orders that were actually issued during the demolition process, both of which were for asbestos remediation, one for in the public walkway overhang, and then two, when they were digging, they were excavating and found the asbestos coated pipe and so forth. So, to make a long story short, there was a credit issued for one of the allowances that Chris had included in the process itself. So we actually have roughly a $7,400 cost overrun from what was covered by the grant. So basically, the village will be owed by the CIC that $7,400, so we will write a check for that. So that overrun, I can provide you with the necessary receipts and everything for that. So hopefully we could, I don't know at what point cumulatively you want that to grow, but we basically would love to be able to get reimbursements.
Yeah,
Sometimes.
I'll just need all of the paperwork for this. I know we wrote it into the our preferred contract terms with URC that they would need to provide us with a lot of reporting documentation. So if they're able to set up a Dropbox or something that just has everything in it, from the original contract to the change orders to the reporting requirements, dump receipts, all of that, that would be great, so that we can then provide that to the port for reimbursement.
Okay, we will we'll work on that and try to get that all to you as soon as possible. So this week, I have to actually close out our grant, so I apologize. I am going to hyper-focus on that, and then next week we'll work on getting what we need. But again, closing out our $339,000 demo grant, so we'll be providing proof to Hamilton County that we have paid for that, and then start the reimbursement process with them.
Yeah, that's totally fine. The grant from the state, the timeline was extended through the end of the year.
Okay, great.
So we have time on that, and they're going to need to see the documentation that we've paid a portion of it anyways, as our match, which
Right.
we are well over because of the Hamilton County grant, but we'll need all of that information anyways.
Okay, perfect. Anyone else have any questions on the demolition portion? As far as update, as far as on the progress of the developer current status, I don't know if either of you want to speak on that just briefly, of kind of where we are just on the timeline, just something brief.
They are continuing to pursue financial resources to make the project work. And they believe that they are likely going to go the HUD route. That was the big update that they provided to us last week out of the two options, but it's not set in stone, and they don't owe us a final answer on that until I believe it's October, correct?
And again, just as a reminder for the general viewing public, HUD does not mean subsidized housing. They still do fund market rate projects. So
Correct.
just as a reminder.
This is not affordable housing, this is market rate.
Okay, perfect, thank you. I'm going to bring up again, and I know we didn't have an opportunity to schedule a property review committee meeting, but I'm going to bring this up again. We still, at this point, do have an interested party in the adjoining property, basically the 306 Bank. And again, Taylor, kind of throwing this back to you because you initiated the process for the side lot purchase program that we had previously. I would like to revisit this. I'm not 100% expecting a decision to be made tonight, but I would like to make an effort to this. This is a property that doesn't benefit the CIC by any means, and is actually, as far as maintenance heavy with respect to mowing. So I really would like to look at allowing this to be purchased by an adjoining property owner. And again, we do have a very interested party.
I still think that we should have them submit an application. We can literally mail the application to them. It's one page for the side lot program, and it basically is just asking, what would you do with this property? That way we have an idea, and if we do get active responses from both property owners, we can have a fair assessment of the intended end use. I don't know if we would receive a response from both property owners, but I think we just put an end date to that. So it's you must respond by, the end of September, or whatever it is that we decide, maybe mid-September, so that we can have it by the next meeting.
So if that's the case, and I don't know if you have the last letter that was maybe sent out to previously that was, I think Orchard was where we went, but I could go and, we could draft something, include a application to both, so the other adjoining property owner is an LLC. I think they are located in Carthage, and we could just send an application along with a letter if they're interested. Please respond by said date. And same thing for the other owner on the opposite side.
Yeah, I think that makes sense, and I'm happy to work with you on getting that letter out. I don't have the letter from the previous sale, but
I'm pretty sure I sent the letters for 56 Orchard, and I think we sent letters to 306 Bank as well. I don't know that we included the application with them. I think it was just, if you're interested, let us know, but,
So, yes, we actually did, and it was sent to the same exact owner as far as to the eastern side
Yeah.
of the property. At the time, on the western side, that individual flat out said they weren't interested at all. But that owner of that particular property is the one that is most interested at this point. And, you know, it is not a rental property. The property to the right side is. So, again, we'll get that to the new owner and start that process.
Have they brought up a price at all?
So, they have not, and neither have we. So as far as the, you know, I guess for what it has a cistern in the front end, so it's not exactly, it has a very nice deep lot, but it's an awkward setup. So, we'd have to kind of discuss that, but we can work on that and, make some recommendations to the board, you know, after we determine interest.
I have a question. Since it's in the middle, two properties, will whoever get it have to get it surveyed so the other person knows that they're not encroaching on them? I think we had that done at one.
if they wish to do that, they can, if they believe that they're encroaching, but that's totally up to them at that point.
But we won't make that as a part of the thing, is surveyed a lot. Okay.
Well, the new owner, so if the said owner from the western side decides to put a fence up, so forth, I mean, it's gonna be their responsibility to have that done anyhow. I mean, it's not, you know, if they decide they wanna utilize that, so yes, I mean, that would be something that we could discuss with them.
Okay, the another question is, will they have to combine their lot legally, like?
only if they want to put an accessory building on it.
Like a garage or something? It would have to
Garage,
be part of the first
pool,
one.
Driveway, any building accessory to the principal residence it would have to be consolidated, but if they're just gonna keep it as grass, make it a really nice side yard, then no, they wouldn't
Okay.
have to do that.
But once that happens, so if we provide, you know, we allow for the sale to go through, I mean, they have to go through all the proper channels with permitting and all of that, you know, with respect to consolidation of parcels, that'll be up to them.
That'll be all post closing.
Okay, I do have one other, so we can call it property maintenance, sale of property at the same time, just throw number 4, property maintenance, 31 Phillips. So that was a property that we actually took from, or were given basically in a roundabout way from the land bank, and I wish we would have just let them keep it. To be honest with you, it's a nightmare. So we approved that the village be able to go, and the service department went and assisted with brush clearing. So we do have this property under our regular mowing, but what had to be done to it was actually be above and beyond that. So I understand some of the neighbors, what they wish it to look like, but you cannot even get equipment on it. So you can barely walk up the hill. So as far as trying to get anything other than a push mower or a weed eater, that's it. When I say push mower, I'm saying smaller. And you couldn't get, you know, a bobcat up there either, because actually, to be honest with you, I'm concerned about the hills slipping as far as on the front end, the yard side. So, but basically, there's additional brush that probably still needs to come off. I spent a couple hours cutting brush. I mean, I need to go back with my chainsaw, drag some more stuff out. But what the adjoining property owner or owners that have expressed, you know, they would like to see it looking different. It cannot have grass where they would love to have grass. It can't be grass top to bottom. So you can't, if you wanted to go in and try to bring topsoil in so that you could actually level it, make more, you know, a more attractive property, there's no adjoining property that you can access it. So we cleared brush to benefit the adjoining property owner on the Baker side. So no one's gonna let us drive a Bobcat and go through their fence around their pool on the top side. You can't access it from either side. So really, ultimately, just keeping it groomed with the ivy on the hillside, on the upper end, and getting, debris off of the hill. But I don't even see it, and that's 31, I just should have pulled it and printed off, but it's 31 Phillips. I'm not 100% sure that it even has 50 feet of frontage. So, again, that would be another one that I would love to look at. Maybe one of the individuals next door would love to acquire it and maintain it.
I mean, I think that's definitely something that's worth discussing. If it is buildable, is that currently listed as an available property on the CIC's website? Okay. Yeah, I mean, my only other thought would be if it's buildable, someone might be interested in it beyond the side lot program too, which would obviously be great. But I think that's maybe a little bit more diligence on that, and we can discuss at the next meeting.
Depending on the cost of a cut up, I would rather parcel it off and just give it to the 3 adjoining property owners. Take a chunk off the back, give it to the neighbor at the bottom, and then split the chunk in the middle and give it to one on either side.
I would love to not have to deal with it.
So I think either way, a disposition strategy is in order. It's just a matter of what. So maybe let's come prepared with some
Yeah.
options at the next meeting.
Let me see what a cut up would cost.
Yeah, and I actually am pretty stable on my feet, and I will, I was actually trying to come up and down that hillside to access it was not simple or safe. So, again, hopefully I'll ask when I have to go back next time, I'm gonna ask if I can use the adjoining neighbor's steps and walk across. So it's wicked. So anyhow, but we'll do our best to try to work on that, but if the bulk of the clearing has been done, and when I get some available time in the next few weeks, I'll go cut some more stuff down.
Cool.
As far as open discussion, additional agenda items, Tom? You said you had a list.
I forgot my pen.
Okay. Anyone else on the board have anything else that they want to bring up? Open discussion, additional agenda items? I have one thing, and I guess I need to just. That's funny. I heard an all man. So at some point, and I'm going to go back and look at our list. I don't have my notes with me, but we do probably need to start discussing who was supposed to be up again for election, as far as for replacement of seats and the timetable again from the last time. I mean, I just don't have it with me, but we do have it. But we should probably think about that as far as the potential of cycling people out and making an opportunity for some new members. But again, that's really something to keep on the radar, I think, for latter part of the year here to look at that. So that's all I really had. For our one and only audience member, Kelly, do you have anything? No comments or anything?
You should update the list on the website of the properties.
Thank you, Kelly. We will do that. So the list of, and just one back comment on that. So we have people that are calling still for properties that we don't have available. So we need to make sure that the differentiation as to what we might make available. At this point, we've not deemed other lots as being for sale. We could obviously identify our inventory, but as of right now, I don't think we really have anything that we're actively selling.
We've been a little focused for the last couple of years.
Is the property on Tower listed?
No, that is something that if we were gonna do that would be, we would wanna make sure we go back out, for an RFP to basically allow people to submit proposals and go back through that process again, but that's not something that we're just putting a for sale sign out. I think that needs to be, in all honesty, that would probably be a good idea that, I know that we talked about a property development committee meeting. We should probably have a focus group to try to, determine what we want to move forward on at this point. And again, at the same time, we also have a great project that is just started off in process we did receive a mini planning grant from Hamilton County, so we do have a master planning process starting for Vine Street for the Heritage Hill District, which we own a fair amount of properties. So there could be a whole lot more that could come from that. So, you know, I feel like our properties we're in a good position, and it will be, you know, a good thing that will be forthcoming, so.
I think it's worth mentioning with that planning process, Jonathan, that there's going to be opportunities for this board and the entire community to get involved and engaged and provide feedback. So it's not going to be a process that happens here. It's going to entail larger feedback meetings.
So we will be taking, you know, recommendations as far as and advice from the actual study itself as to what we might be doing with those properties, and, you know, whether it be, you know, residential or retail or anything like that. But the CIC does have something to contribute to this, so. All right, at this point, I show our next meeting September 23rd at 6 p.m. Is there a motion to adjourn?
Mr. President, make a motion to adjourn.
I'll second it.
Okay. Motion to adjourn, thank you.